First of all, I want to say that I know it can seem a little overwhelming at the beginning, but the second brain is something very gradual. So it's not a thing that happens overnight. And I have developed mine over years. So you can't say, okay, I will just right now do my second brain within this day. And the other thing I wanted to tell you is that you should really focus on the first mini steps. So a productivity guru like Ali Abdal and Tiago Forte didn't start like they are now. So you should really think about, okay, how did they start in the first year? What did they do in the first year? And probably they didn't, I know for sure, they didn't have all the things, all the skills they have right now in their first year. Just to take a little pressure off. Today I want to start with the capturing and also with a little exercise. So I want that you ask yourself, what are the things that you want to be part of your second brain? So what exactly do you want to capture? And I will just give you 30 seconds and you can write everything down that comes to your mind. I did the same exercise, and for me it was, for example, what I will capture are good ideas, books that I read or that I want to read, and also some summaries. So when I listen to when I listen to podcasts and read books, just some insights. Then information of cool websites I will put into my second brain. Also Amazon articles daily. I have my daily diary in the second brain. The birthday of people, because I always forget those, and also some funny facts about people they told me. It's always good to remember that, and also some jokes. I want to tell you a little story. For example, some time ago, I wrote down also the talk. I talked with a lady from it's called a Kältekammer in German. So an ice, there's this room which is minus 110 degrees, and you go into this for about 4 minutes, and it's really good for your health, and you're really energized afterwards. And I spoke with this lady, and when I talked to her lately, she told me that she never met someone who could recall her name, and that she even forgot to tell me something about she told me something about the room, the Eiskammer, and afterwards I remembered it and told her again, and then she was like really she didn't remember that she even told me that, and she was also really surprised that I remembered her name, because she has a pretty hard name, and that's also only because of I wrote it down into my second brain, and if I hadn't done that, I probably never remembered her name by heart or what she exactly told me. And that's pretty cool, I think. Just before you then meet the person again, you look into your notes and see, okay, they traveled to Europe last time I saw them in August. So I will ask them how the time was in Europe, and it's pretty nice, I think. So So enough from me. Now I want to ask you, could you tell me what are the things that you want to be part of your second brain, and what do you want to capture? So if you can just write this down for 30 seconds with a young computer or pen on paper, and I will start now. Okay, I hope you have gained some insights of what you will capture in the next time, and general what you will look out for. I have to say, generally, the capturing is a really intuitive thing. So also, you can ask yourself maybe the question when capturing things, could my future self need this kind of information, or is it necessary for future action steps? So that's pretty cool question. I think what if a future self could need this information, then I probably keep it and write it down immediately. And also things to keep are inspiring information, I think, and also personal insights, like a journal maybe, to write a journal in your digital note system. Also to use useful tools and papers maybe, and some other things which get easily lost, like all kind of documents you need. You can also put into a second brain like Evernote or Notion. And if you think about, could this be worth capturing, or should I rather remember this by heart, I would definitely recommend to capture it. Generally, I also think that texts and reading are the highest return of investment. And it's just because texts, they have in not much time you can consume a huge amount of information. And I personally try to capture the 20% of the content of a lesson, lecture, video that has 80% of the value. So also here I try to get to use the Pareto principle and really because most of the time there is, in a 1 hour lecture, there maybe stacked 20% of the professor, the student in front of you, or professor, he talks about something, and then within 10 minutes he tells the most important details, and for 40 minutes, 50 minutes afterwards, he speaks about nothing that really interests you. And I thought about that's really often, and that's why I try to stay alert all the time, to really think about the 20% that will make out the most of this. And for the last, for the end, I would like to ask you where you spend most of your time reading, because that's something really important. There are 5 things I wrote down where you can spend time reading. It's, for example, with ebooks like Kindle, also with online articles, then paper books, magazines or newspapers, and PDFs. So the 5 things: ebooks, online articles, paper books, magazines or newspapers, or PDFs. So if you can just think about it, maybe the one thing you use the most, and I give you just 10 seconds to think about it, and then you can tell me, and I will tell you what the most people use the most. What the most people use, I hope you have finished it and thought about it, are basically ebooks and also online articles. So actually the most are online articles, and I would also recommend you to just for the beginning just focus on them and capture things of online articles. There are great tools which I will then mention later, like Readwise or Instapaper, where you can really capture those articles and the important points you can highlight and then transfer it directly to your second brain, so to another app like Evernote and Notion, and those are really helpful. So you can build with those alone a second brain. And another thing is also that you think about the capture scenarios. So when exactly do I capture information? So is it free form notes at the computer, or drag and drop files or do I just make the notes when I'm on the go in the city, for example? Is it web content or content from emails? Those are all capture scenarios where you can capture your information. And at the beginning, it's just something to be aware of, everywhere you can capture information. But for the beginning, I would just recommend you to focus on the online articles and capture your information there. So yes, that was it with this episode. And I hope you have gained some insights. I would recommend that you write this always in your journal or on a paper that you can, in the digital note system maybe. The exercises you made to always get back to them afterwards.